there, we are Clare and Nick Butcher, and we've been together for over 20 years. We used to live in Wiltshire in the UK, with Nick having a background in bathroom sales and myself in hospitality and catering. In 2020, we decided to leave the daily grind to start a new life in France. Eventually, we ended up buying this. It's not officially a chateau, even though the village locals call it one. However, it is just as large and equally as much hard work as a chateau, with a hoard of original features, and the building having been unoccupied for many years, we are slowly breathing life back into her, whilst frequently still finding the many treasures she holds. Join us on our journey with our dogs, Flora and Merlot, as we renovate our maison de maître, one turret short of a chateau. Hi everyone and welcome back. We had a bit of a week off last week. Nick's parents were here, so we downed the camera and enjoyed another week with them. But let's catch you up with all of the things that have happened since.
Don't think I'm going in the pool today. Well, every week or two I like to have just a little check around the maison de maître here. Just make sure everything's okay inside, even though I haven't really done any work in here for a long time. Yeah, it's a good idea to check everything's okay, and everything seems to be as I left it last time. But I've noticed something across the yard. I'll just show you. Well, you wouldn't tell it by now, but last couple of days we've had some pretty heavy thunderstorms, and just looking out at the barn, and look, oops. I'm missing the hook. That should hold it there. Right, so I need to go down, get a hook, bang the hook in, and then that will fix it. Right, well, I have a hook, have a hammer. I'm going to bang this in and fit the tile back. Sorry, can't do this one-handed, so I'm going to have to cut now and show you it done. There you go. It is in place. So now when it rains, all the water coming down here won't go through the hole. There we go. Job done. Yay! Well, today is a sad day. We are returning my parents to the airport where they will catch a flight back to the UK.
And he coughed.
I'm sorry, I did. I couldn't help it.
You've got water there.
Yes, I know, dear. I'm going to get it. Left them in the capable hands of EasyJet, and well, now we're in Bordeaux and it's a nice day.
Easy shopping!
Shopping!
All of the adverts I've seen. It is time for my first pumpkin spice latte of the year. Yay! Look, guess where I've just been? I went to Primark. Yay! Primark, Primark, fantastic Primark.
Well, there's some of the shopping, and here's coming more shopping.
No menu, it's for you today.
Well, would a trip to Bordeaux and dropping people off at the airport be complete without a quick visit to Eurasie, the Oriental supermarket? Already, Claire's eyes have spotted something. Look at this.
Honey, there's something in here that comes from your feet.
What? No. Go away. Well, tempting as all of these things are, I can resist. Because we've got the joy of B&M to look forward to now.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Well, this is a little interim wine of the week type thing. However, whilst going around B&M bargains just now, Claire thought she'd buy me a nice little tin of drink for the car ride home. She's driving, thank goodness. She's bought me this. Orangy Boom. I've never had that. I remember the adverts for it years ago on telly, but I've never drunk it. I haven't yet tasted it. It is a 12% lager. Here goes. Bloody horrible!
I thought it would be a nice, refreshing. After all of that shopping, it would be a nice, refreshing thing for you to have on the way home.
Well, if I can get a word in between the noise of the hens laying an egg and celebrating the fact, I'm going to tell you about my next project. Right, I've just had a word with the girls and they promised me they're going to stay quiet. I'm standing in the yard outside the outside toilets. If you remember right back to when we moved in, we didn't even know we had these. We pulled the eye.
The day that we moved in, we looked round the corner in the actual building and we saw something on the top that we'd never seen before. And all of these doors were hidden by vines and weeds. And all of a sudden, I thought, oh, there's something behind there. And I opened these doors. Ta-da! 2 fantastic toilets. We don't know where they flush to. Lovely colour.
We pulled the ivy back and there they were. A couple of outside toilets. They weren't working. More spiders than you could really want in your life. And there was no sign of getting them working. They were connected to an old septic tank rather than what the rest of the property is, which is connected to the main drainage. So before I started working on the landscaping around the pool, I spent a little bit of time in here and knocked out the old toilets that were quite high up there. So I've been taking the floor level back down and I need to do that a little bit more. You might remember I also employed a man with a digger to come and dig me a trench that went from here across the yard and joined into the main pipe somewhere there. Anyway, now I've finished all the hard work around the pool, I can start to do some work on here, and it'd be nice to get this working as an outside toilet. Useful for when people are around the pool or just in the yard generally, rather than having to go into the house. wearing their outside shoes and getting told off by their wives, they'll be able to come and use this facility here. It's quite hard to see on camera, but it's noticeable when you're walking across the yard, is that the trench that we put the pipe in and then filled over, oh hello Flora, so that trench has been compacted somewhat with a number of large lorries going over it. So before I do any more work on getting the toilets fitted, I'm going to check this pipe, and I'm going to check it's got a fall in the right direction, and that all of these really heavy lorries that have been driving across the yard throughout the summer, I hope they haven't damaged the pipe or squashed it in any way. I hope that the dip is purely the ground being recompressed. And I'm going to stick this little jobby down the pipe down there and make sure I can trace it across the yard in the direction of Flora. At the same time I'm doing that, I'm going to run a hose pipe alongside it, so I'll be able to check, does the water go downhill, and hopefully downhill out to the outside world, is there any damage, blah blah blah. Well, that's good. I can't see any evidence that there's a blockage, can't see any evidence that the pipe is squished in any way. The water is just flowing through and down to the outside world. That's good news. So what that means is work can start in here now. Not the biggest of rooms. It's going to take a bit of work to get done though. Let's have a look at this. So I need to get the floor fixed. I need to get the walls done. And the ceiling. However, look. The light works.
What a wonderful morning, and what a great day for harvesting some items from the garden. The majority of the tomato plants that I've grown this year have been a catastrophic failure, but there's always a silver lining, and we had this tomato plant self-seed itself in the middle of the yard, and it is brilliant, and it is the most healthiest looking plant out of everything that has been grown this year. Now, yes, it is at dog level, so of course everything gets washed anyway, but look at that, the whole thing is tomatoes. However, are we going in for the kill here, Merlot? No. However, the problem is that it is in front of what will be the outside toilet. So I've got my husband nagging me, going, "What are you doing with these tomatoes? What are you doing with these tomatoes?"
That's how I sound.
It is in my head. So I'm just going to harvest whatever I can from this giant bush, and then yeah, you can be the destroyer.
That's what I'm known as. Yeah.
Yep. I've had a nice little harvest from that bush, and now the destroyer of tomato plants has come along.
Alright, well, I've cleared the access through to the room now, and a bit difficult to know where to start. There's so much to do. Never mind, I have a plan.
What I've managed to do is I've managed to harvest pretty much everything that I can. We have our tomatoes from our bush in the middle of the yard. We've got some tigerella tomatoes. We have all of the peppers that I could harvest from the greenhouse. And we've also got some chilies. So let's see what I can do with these. I'm having a little bit of a kitchen day. So the first thing I have done is cut all of the vegetables and prepared them. And the first thing I've done is I've separated the seeds from the plants, and I am going to dry the seeds and hopefully save them for next year and try and replant them. One of the next things I've done is I've taken all of the tomatoes, some of the peppers, I've taken a red onion and some garlic. I've put everything into a roasting tin and I'm going to cover this in olive oil, salt and pepper. I'm going to pop it in the oven, I'm going to roast it all down, and I'm going to get 2 meals from this. I'm going to get a soup for lunch, and I'm also going to get a bolognese sauce out of it as well. But you can't have soup without bread, so it's a quick trip to the bread vending machine. Have my bread and it's time to get home. And there we go, lunch is ready. And as well as soup for tomorrow, I also have some bolognese sauce to go in the freezer.
Well, I'm gradually getting the floor level down. I think tomorrow I'm going to come along with a big cutting disc. There's a big lump of stone here I want to cut out. And I think I've done enough for today. Bit of a shock to the system doing all this physical work after a few weeks off. Anyhow, I am making progress. I've got the beast out, that big cutter there. That is going to take care of that bit of stone. I've got all the protective gear for you as well today, so. So I'm just chopping lots of lines that way, just like if you were doing woodwork, you would maybe saw lots of little lines before you chisel them away that way. So we'll see whether this works. Working. It's messy, it's dusty, it's noisy, but it's working, so that's what matters really. I've done almost half of it now, so I'm just going to carry on along there. It's actually some really old hard concrete, but I think this is going to be the easiest way to get rid of it. Yeah. Fast forward to now, that big step is gone. In fact, underneath all of that was just more and more rubble, and I've been clearing that down to try and get a nice level base that has got a bit of depth to it that I can now put a new concrete base in. I'm getting there. It's hard work, but I'm getting there.
Today I'm in my happy place. I am back with my woman power air chisel, and I'm going to be taking all of the old mortar out of just the sides of this toilet room. Now, the reason why I'm not going to do the back is because I have a feeling that if I do the back, the wall will fall down. It's very fragile, but I can do the sides. I have the power. It's really annoying at times because the goggles keep steaming up and I keep having to wipe them because otherwise I can't see naff all. And a few more hours later, I have now managed to complete this wall. Woohoo! Now I have started to go onto this wall in little patches, but as you can see there's a bit of a colour difference up at the top, in the middle and down the bottom. Now this grey black part of the wall is where some absolute spanner has years ago decided to try and point it by pouring in some what looks like wet concrete that's run down all of the fronts of the bricks or the brickwork. And it's really horrible stuff to try and get off. I don't know why you would have done this, but maybe it's someone that's gone, oh, I've just got some spare stuff lying around, I'll just block the holes up in the wall a bit, and yeah, you've really made my day really awkward. However, this is not the worst pointing job I've seen recently. And when I take the dogs on a walk tonight, I will show you the worst pointing I have ever seen. Now, I've done one wall today. I was hoping to get both walls done. I'd rather do one wall, stop for today, come back, do this wall tomorrow and try and do it a bit more justice, because it's quite vibration-y, shall we say, and not necessarily a pleasant way. So yeah, I'm going to call it quits in here for today. I've still got one wall done. It's still progress, isn't it? We are on our evening dog walk around the village, and as promised, I wanted to show you an example of how not to point a wall. Now, I know everybody's budget is different, and fair play to these people for trying to fix the wall, but I'm going to show you two examples from two different properties. This in front of me looks like cement pointing, or even an attempt at rendering in places, compared to some really old lime and then some render. So here is what would have been the original. Here's probably what's a patch job. Here is some kind of cement, and then down here there's another colour, and then over here obviously there's render. But yeah, what a mixture of materials. Coming up is example number 2, This one is my favourite. So here we have where somebody has taken a can of expanding foam and filled it and then gone over the top with cement. That is special. Welcome back to day 2 of chiselling mortar out of gaps. It's going to be a good day. I can feel it. Here with my helper. I've got to be honest, it's not going great with this cement at all. It is just solid, so I'm taking a different approach. Now I'm hoping that what I can do, I can try and just point round some of it. But yeah, the other approach I'm taking is I'm using the chisel along where there's drip lines like here, and I'm just trying to chisel off the front of the stonework just to try and get rid of the horrific drips. It's coming out quite easily elsewhere, like up here. Brilliant. But yeah, this is just a bit of a car crash, let's face it. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to do whatever I can. I'd really like to try and point this. If I point it and if it ends up looking really bad, then we can always re-batten the wall out and put something like tongue and groove over it. Really want to try and avoid that, but it's what it is. Well, after a good few more hours, I think I cannot get any better than what I have already done. To the untrained eye, it may not look like much. And I've managed to get the drips off the front of the stonework, or as much as possible. It is what it is. And it's ready for the next stage. So the next thing to think about with this will be one of my favourite jobs, the pointing. But I think I'm going to save that until next week now. Pointing.
Hi, and welcome to
Wine of the Week.
And yeah, we're back on the wine.
I found this at one of the many supermarket wine sales, and it's called Gross Truff, which is Big Truffle. Truffly.
Not sure how that equates to a wine, but we'll find out shortly. It is a Malbec from the Cahors area, so should be nice.
You said whore.
Cahors. As in off.
Okay.
Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. It's nice to get back on the project of the outside toilets. It won't be that long before we'll be back inside in the big house, cracking on with everything in there. But yeah, it's nice to be doing something that isn't around the pool for a change. And yeah, well, if you've enjoyed this week's episode, please click the like button. And if you're not a subscriber,
you can subscribe. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, or
X, formerly known as Twitter.
there we go.
We're up with the times, we
Yeah.
are.
Or you can find more on our website at
www.theexpatbutchers.com.
oh, that didn't have a pop. Oh.
A little one, more of a...
Well, here we go. Nom, 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 nom.
How's it go?
Nom, 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 nom. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh. A hint of finished dishwasher tablet.
I did wipe the glasses, come on.
What with? Anyway.
Mm. And I'm pleased to say that doesn't taste of truffle.
Oh, it doesn't taste of truffle.
You don't want that in a wine, do you?
No, it could be quite cool.
Anyway,
Thanks.
enough from us.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you
Next week.
Bye.